Hello plant friends! Welcome back for another episode, and in this one we'll be talking about the Queen Anthurium or the Anthurium WAROCQUEANUM. Definitely one of my absolute favorite plants. I know that the plant can be a bit intimidating for some people, especially people who are just getting into anthuriums or just getting into exotic tropical plants, but they're a lot easier than most people think. In this video, I'll share two of my plants as well as some care tips, so stick around. So the Anthurium WAROCQUEANUM, or however you pronounce it, is also known as the Queen Anthurium. And if you look at them, it's pretty easy to see why they have such a royal status in the anthurium world. The ones that I have, I've had in my collection for quite some time, and they just keep getting better and better, and they bring me so much joy. The leaves are just absolutely stunning. A showstopper, an attention grabber. Absolutely gorgeous. I smile and I get so much joy every single time I'm looking at these leaves. Like, even talking about these plants, I can't help but not smile. None of the specimens that I have are perfect, right? There are definitely brown, crinkly spots, and there's areas where you think maybe an animal has chewed on them. As far as I know, no animal has, and I haven't. This specimen here I especially love. This came from my friend Edgar, and his Instagram is Plant Serenity. Please follow him. He has such an amazing collection, and he's the one who really kind of held my hand when I first got into anthuriums. This leaf definitely has seen better days. It's sort of been crinkly like this for quite a long time, and it hasn't gotten worse. So I think that's just part of taking care of these plants and having these plants in your home. This new leaf right here actually just came out, I would say, about a week ago, and it seems like every day it just gets bigger and bigger. So I don't think this is the full size yet. I'm hoping that it just gets a little bit bigger. So for the Queen Anthuriums, both of these are actually the same form, and it's the wide form. There's actually a narrow form. I don't have that in my collection. I know a few people do. Some of you guys have probably noticed that I have a lot of moss around their main trunk. So both of these are in straight sphagnum moss. There is no dirt or soil or orchid bark or basically anything else in these pots except for sphagnum moss. I basically just surround the roots and then surround the trunk with moss. So there's all moss in here, and then here I just cover it with moss, and I use some sort of tie. It's definitely rustic, and I like it. I don't mind that green stuff growing at all. I sort of just keep the moss damp or moist, and all I need to do that is sort of just soak this guy in the sink or the shower once a week. And that's it. And then I let the water drain. These two were watered yesterday, so everything is still moist. I have them both in terracotta. I basically have all my plants in terracotta just because I've had some bad experience with non-terracotta pots. I know that some people have some reservations about keeping plants in just pure sphagnum moss, and I think the reservation is that, where are the plants getting their nutrients? Just remember that anthuriums are epiphytic, so in the wild they'll be just growing on branches, and there's probably not that much nutrition. Their nutrition requirement is probably very low. So what I do in addition to just watering them is that I will do a low dilution fertilizers solution, and I would just pour that on them probably once a week or every 2 weeks. Even less is probably okay. So that's how I do it, and they've been doing great. I don't know if that's optimal, but that's what I do. And that's it. That's literally it. Right now they have pretty good light going to them, and that's just because that's where they happen to fit amongst my other plants on the shelves that they're at. But I don't anticipate that these guys really have really high light requirements. In the wild, they're epiphytic, so they just grow on trunks or on branches, and I think that they're naturally used to shade or imperfect light conditions. So overall, the Queen Anthuriums are absolutely gorgeous plants, and I don't think that they're as hard or intimidating as some people think they are. Probably should not be the first anthurium that you get, but get one. So that's it. Thank you so much for letting me share these two plants of mine and some of my care tips for them. If you have any care tips, put them in the comments below. Or if just, watching this video made you want these plants, please just like and subscribe. It really helps a lot. And as always, goodbye and happy planting.